The topic off the Monday night game last night. The Chargers looked pretty good. Jacksonville, we've seen their struggles. Yeah. Blaine Gabbert, the rookie quarterback, 19 of 33, 195 tossing, 2 touchdowns and a pick as they lose by 24 points. Based on what you saw last night from Gabbert, and I know it goes back in time because Tim was available the year before in the draft. Yep. He was the Jacksonville hometown kid and the Jags passed.
Yep.
Did they mess that up, Skip?
I know this is an easy second guess, but I first guessed this before that draft. I said, Jacksonville, you have to take him, even though it seems a little high, with the 10th pick in the draft. This, in hindsight, is a monumental mistake. I'm not saying it's a franchise breaker, but you tell me, wouldn't this have been a franchise maker? Because like you say, local boy comes back to make good. You're talking about the guy who dominated the SEC at the University of Florida, and he comes home, he grew up in the Jacksonville area, and he refills the seats and he refills the win column. I don't know, Jack Del Rio might be Coach of the Year candidate right now as opposed to be unemployed. Well, he might be.
Well,
I mean, you can make that case right now.
Together with MJD, and now you got
there you go. And again, was 10 a little high? Okay, so they reached for Tyson Alualu from Cal, the defensive tackle from Cal, who did make a couple Rookie of the Year teams last year. He's had a really quiet year. I'm not saying it's hard for me to rank how well he's doing, but he has a sack and a half as a defensive tackle. Last night he had 2 tackles and no sacks, and I don't remember him in the broadcast. Was his name called? I don't remember it. I could have missed it. I don't know. So was it, no Piper called that a risky pick at 10. So was it, could you have gone Tebow there? Was that too high? Not in hindsight. I think it's a monumental mistake.
Well, in hindsight, you're absolutely right from the standpoint that considering the year that Tebow is having, considering the problems that existed in Jacksonville, there is no doubt about that. Jack Del Rio and those boys dropped the ball. That's why he's fired. He's no longer head coach in the NFL. And clearly he was a local kid, so the popularity, the gates, the ticket sales, all of that stuff would have been off the charts. You had me until you said he might be worthy of taking with the 10th overall. But there are some people who looked at him and said, this dude won't even be taken before the 3rd round.
By the way,
and you take him
25th.
I know that he went 25th overall in the 1st round. So to me, it's not a real strong adversarial position we can take on this because in hindsight there is no doubt that you're right. Okay. But you could not take him with the 10th overall pick in the draft. There was just no way on earth that you could possibly justify that. The one team I would say who could have justified it better than anybody would have been Jacksonville. But this guy was projected to go down.
That probably would have been the only team.
Also on record, I don't love Blaine Gabbert, and I didn't love him before the draft, and I love him less after last night. Right. So I look down the list of 2 years ago, and I say, Jay's Cleveland Browns were picking 7 and took Joe Hayden. It was a great pick.
We love the Joe Hayden pick. And I'll tell you, they love it.
But would you like to have Tim Tebow right now instead of Colt McCoy?
No.
You wouldn't. No. You take Colt
McCoy is a very serviceable quarterback with an upside future.
I'm getting ready to sit there and make news. I don't agree with that. I mean, and listen, I still don't believe that Tim Tebow's an NFL quarterback, but I gotta admit to you, when I look at McCoy, I'm like, I would have taken Tebow.
Like you said,
I would have done that.
I've seen every snap. I've seen every snap of Colt McCoy.
I know.
And honestly, I'll tell you, going into this season, the question mark was, who's he going to throw the football to? Yeah. They didn't address it, and we haven't seen the best of Colt McCoy yet.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is that when I think about football players, I think about football players. I may have reservations big time about Tim Tebow, and I'm not budging one bit on that. But he is a football player without a doubt.
Stephen A., can I tell you from an
I like McCoy, though. I like
McCoy. You are budging on Tim Tebow.
You're a little bit. You're coming around.
You are. No. In the last 24 hours, I've heard you say, and I'm gonna call you out for something you said in the meeting today.
Please do, Jay Bayless.
You know what? I'll take that title on this. In the meeting this morning, Stephen A. Smith said, boys, I got to tell you, if he does to the Chicago defense what he's been doing to some of these other defenses, I might have to think about the bandwagon.
I am not the joker. I am honest. To a fault. Let me say
my point. You're coming around.
You're saying I'm not honest?
You are honest, but boy, my goodness, sometimes you just fly in the face of objectivity. You just ignore it because you want to hold firm to your position.
The way you ignore 6 and 1, is that what you're saying?
Okay, fine. That's the way I ignore 6 and 1 because I am ignoring. I'm snoring on 6 and 1. But I will tell you this. What I said was, and we'll get to that a little bit later, all I was trying to say is that Chicago's a big-time opponent for Denver because they're back. This season's on the line here.
Right.
So Tim Tebow going up against that defense is going to show me something. He shows up against them and gets it done. I'm in a situation where I got to look at it and go like this. All right, Tim, we got to talk about it. That's all I'm saying.
We admire your
That's all I'm saying.
eventual objectivity. We admire that.
Eventual.
So,
So bottom line of that draft 2 years ago, then Seattle a little later at 14 takes Earl Thomas. I think Seattle made a mistake. They're not taking Tebow. And then a little later, Tennessee takes Derek Morgan, the defensive tackle from Georgia Tech. I think that's a big mistake.
Okay.
I'll take him over Locker. I'll take him over. We can just go right down the line. I think all those teams made a mistake. And then the next year turned around and took the Gabberts and the Ponders and the Locker.
I would have maybe used those fellas to address other needs.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next subject because we don't want to spend too much time on Tebow.